Buck, good morning, friend. Good to see you.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. I know that the breakfast yesterday, it's an annual gathering at the winter meetings, and you got a lot of support. Tell us about what BAT is up to and how the event went yesterday morning.
Well, Matt, yesterday, as you heard, it was our 5th annual breakfast we have here at the winter meetings, and we had a great turnout. Over 200 people joined us early in the morning for breakfast, and we had a former recipient that told his story about how BAT helped him get back on his feet after a hurricane in Puerto Rico. And I think BAT last year, we helped 1,100 families to the tune of $3.5 million of grants that we helped them get back on their feet and regain their self-esteem. You know, BAT's designed to be a short-term bridge to get people back on their feet. And, you know, nobody knows when you're going to fall upon hard times. And we take care of the baseball family, whether you're a former scout, former umpire, clubhouse guy, minor league player. It doesn't make any difference. We have certain qualifications, and if you meet those qualifications, BAT is there to help you.
Buck, Bo Porter here. Congratulations. This is great work. And when you think about BAT, and I'm a firm believer that everything that we do for ourselves will die with us, but everything we do for others have a chance to live forever. And BAT has done some tremendous work. I know how the current player can actually contribute to BAT. How can former players out there contribute to BAT?
Well, Bo, that's a great question. And as you heard, the active players are the ones that really support BAT through their payroll deductions in the spring training meetings we have. We meet with every club all spring long, and they're very generous with their donations, and they basically support our ability to give these grant recipients their monies. As far as donations, if you go onto the MLB website at the bottom of the page, it talks about other affiliates and other MLB websites, and BAT's website is there, both in Spanish and English, and everything you need to know about how you apply, how you donate, what BAT does, what we're currently doing. It's right there on the website. So it's an easy access right at MLB.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page, and you'll find the BAT website there.
That's an important note. The BAT case workers, there are multilingual people that can help you regardless of what your issue is. I know that counseling is a big part of it, too, getting psychological help for people who, whether they're grieving, whether they're in need of any kind of psychological help. It's not just a check to put into a rehab or food on your table. There's a whole mental component here too, Buck.
No question about it. Drug and alcohol abuse, mental health situations. We have a tremendous counselor that has a baseball background. And one thing that I must really stress is this is 100% confidential, and that's really important because oftentimes nobody wants to admit that they need some help, but we're there to help, and everything is confidential. Nothing will get out publicly, and what we do is one-on-one for sure to help that guy or that person get back on their feet and get back into society and be an integral part of what we do.
Buck, you're doing great work with BAT. I'm going to switch gears here, and we're going to go to the Toronto Blue Jays. When you start to think about this young core in which they have and trying to add to that young core, what can we look for the Blue Jays to do this offseason to try to get this team over the hump and have a deep run into the postseason?
Well, obviously, the big elephant in the room is Shohei Ohtani, and everybody's talking about that. And it would certainly be a big addition to any ball club, and especially to the Blue Jays. Toronto's a unique situation. We represent an entire country, and it's such a diverse fan base that Ohtani, obviously, he'll be a hit anywhere he goes, but I think he'd really be an asset in Toronto. But obviously, the Blue Jays need to shore up their offense. Pitching was great last year. Defense was the best in baseball. And now it's a matter of finding some more bats. And certainly a left-handed bat like Ohtani would make everybody smile in Canada.
We talked to John Schneider earlier in meetings, Buck, and I thought it was interesting the past couple years how things have gone up there, right? They were a offense-first group 2 seasons ago. They turned into a kind of middle-of-the-pack offensive unit last year, and they were a pitching team. Did the ballpark changes have anything to do with that in your mind?
Matt, it's really interesting because the changes haven't really changed that dramatically. In fact, the dimensions actually got a little bit smaller. But one thing that's really kind of interesting is because they have closed out the gap that used to be over the fence before the stands, kind of created an airflow that may have helped the ball fly out of the ballpark. it didn't go out of the ballpark as frequently as we've seen in the past after the renovation. So that's an interesting aspect. I'm sure some of the scientists will delve into that as we go further. But more than anything, I think they changed a little bit too much. And when you give up big bats like they did last offseason, you're going to have an impact. And some of the regular players haven't performed as well as we expected, and there's certainly a lot of potential there. But I think the offense is going to be improved either by free agent signing or trades, or they've got to shore up some spots. And obviously, they've lost some key free agents in this offseason, and they've got to make up for those losses.
Well, Buck, their offense definitely is looking for some upgrades, but defensively, and you alluded to this, they were one of the better defensive teams in all of baseball, especially in the outfield. Just talk about their outfield defense and the improvements in which you've seen from year to year.
Well, last year, of course, they had Kiermaier in center, Springer in right, and Varsho in left field for the majority of the time. Whit Merrifield did a heck of a job going back and forth between second base and the outfield. But Dalton Varsho is a tremendous defender, whether he's playing in left or center. Springer had one of his best defensive years of his career last year. And I think the offense, it took a little bit of a beating, but the defense made up for some of that. But now it looks as though, with Kiermaier being a free agent and nobody knows if they're going to bring him back, that Varsho might slide over to center field, and then Springer would play in right, and now they have a void in left field. So that's another area. Obviously, third base is an area. Gold Glove winner Matt Chapman is a free agent as well. I'm sure they'd love to bring him back, but nobody knows how that's going to end up. So they've got some big holes on the field to fill before the start of spring training.
You're not a guy that likes to take a lot of bows for your career, so I'm gonna put you in the awkward spot to have to do that. Congratulations on the Jack Graney Award. Very prestigious honor, and folks in the U.S. might not be as familiar with it. It's handed out to a Canadian broadcaster who forwards the game of baseball in an exemplary fashion. I can't believe you hadn't won it before, Buck, but congratulations on the Graney Award.
Well, Matt, I thank you very much. And partners like you have helped me along the way, that's for sure. And we had the great pleasure of working the World Series together. And I know you and Bo have been around baseball for a long time. And, yeah, you don't think much about awards when you start out as a player or a broadcaster, but it's certainly a great honor to be included with many great broadcasters and writers in Canada.
Speaking of Canada, I'm going to ask you a U-turn question here. You know, when we talk about the league expanding someday down the road, I would imagine the folks in Toronto would love to have another Canadian installment in the national pastime. Montreal was such a great baseball city for such a long time. You had great experiences there, I know. Is the viability of Montreal as a expansion market, again, something that's talked about in Canada?
Yeah, absolutely. It's talked about. And, I don't know how anxious the Blue Jays would be to have another team in Canada, given the fact that they own the entire country right now. But Montreal is certainly a great baseball town. They have been a great baseball city for a long time. They've got a rich history of baseball, and I think Montreal would be another viable option. And this town right here, everybody's talking about Nashville being a major league expansion city as well. And obviously, with the great support of everything that's gone on here in Nashville, I think it would be a great option for them as well. But, it's hard to fathom how far we've come with expansion over the last several years.
Buck, you and I have some shared history here. You made your managerial debut in 2001 as the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, and we opened the season in Puerto Rico, and as the opening day starting center fielder, why couldn't you just ask Esteban Loaiza to just throw me at least one fastball? I look back finally on that, but I was 0 for 3 with 3 punch outs, and just talk about your managerial debut.
Well, that was great fun. I played in Puerto Rico for 4 years in winter ball, and I actually played in that ballpark, Irán Bithorn, for Santurce. And it was a great return. We actually took a bunch of our younger Puerto Rican players and played an exhibition game before that one-game opening game. And Esteban Loaiza pitched. I think Bautista and Stewart hit home runs in that game. It was a great opening ceremony and a tremendous honor for me because I had such a great tie to Puerto Rico and that Winter Baseball League. And then I got to play my first game as a manager in that same ballpark. It was a great weekend.
Yes, it was a great weekend.
Buck, we appreciate the visit, friend. It's good to see you. Congratulations on everything you've accomplished with B.A.T, the Graney Award. Been a nice kickoff to the month of December for you, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays, and thanks for having me, guys.